The Alldus podcast is brought to you by Alldus International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our AI in Action series, where leading minds in AI from across the world share their story, success, and advice. AI in Action cuts through the hype and explores the true impact of artificial intelligence in our world today.
You're listening to AI in Action. I'm your host, JP Valentine. Our guest today is Nick Freund. Nick is the founder and CEO at Workstream. Nick, welcome to the show.
Thanks, John Paul. It's great to be here. I appreciate you having me on the show today.
Yeah, we're delighted to have you. So, Nick, let's start with yourself, please. Can you give us a bit of an overview of your journey in tech, from where you got started, some of the roles you've held along the way, and take us up to just before Workstream, the idea behind it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've been in tech for over a dozen years now. I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I started my career as an analyst at Tesla. And this was very, very early in the days of Tesla, so pre-delivery on the original Tesla Roadster. 200 people at the company, and I was the analyst who supported the operations and manufacturing teams that were bringing the Tesla Roadster and Model S to market. And so had really lots of hands-on experience as an analytics professional supporting operators. And then I ended up leaving, and I spent a long time at a software business here in New York, where I now live, called Better Cloud, where I ran operations, and I bounced around that company, building various functions as we grew and scaled, and worked really closely with the data and analytics team, the best in breed team that we built at Better Cloud. And just as a data-driven leader, was very opinionated about the workflow of that team and supporting my organization. And in many ways, that was the germ that sparked the idea for Workstream.io, our new company.
Thank you for that, Nick. You've teed up nicely the idea behind Workstream. So tell us all about Workstream as a business, or what's the mission of the organization, and where you first came up with the idea to create this business.
It's really born of a lot of the pain points I experienced throughout my entire career, first as an analytics person supporting the business, and then later on as the operator, working really closely hand in hand with our data team. At the highest level, there's just so many powerful data analytics, machine learning, AI tools and solutions out there. And it means that these teams are more strategically relevant than ever before. But there were just so many friction points and pain points I had personally experienced in collaborating with that team, data and analytics assets that would inform business decision making. And ultimately, all of these analytics assets and the workflows that come off them, everything from training and users in the organization to providing feedback and collaboration, they happen historically across really all of these fragmented solutions. And so we really feel passionately that all of that should be consolidated into a single workflow to really make the jobs of analytics teams and the folks that work are really closely with more collaborative, more efficient, and more streamlined. And so that's what we're building at Workstream.io.
So could you help us visualize the journey from first conversation with a customer? What are the most common problems that they have when you first start speaking to them? And how do you and the team at Workstream go about integrating your platform with their work? And what's the end result? Give us some of the wins that come off the back of it.
Our customers, they generally trend larger, more mature organizations that have just invested a lot in their data capabilities. And so many of those organizations, there's just a lot of different tools that folks use to consume data today. So maybe that's a BI solution or multiple BI solutions. Oftentimes they're using some type of notebooks for exploratory analysis or building out productized kind of data apps. Oftentimes, data is getting pushed into operational systems across the business, everything from Salesforce to your ticketing for customer service. So there's this real sprawl that customers experience around where data is accessed and consumed, and therefore informing business. And normally, that's where a conversation with us and a customer starts. And hey, how can we help you? How can we help you centralize access to that for your organization and give your teams a centralized place to go to find all of these various data products? And what's interesting about our solution is we're not building an analytics product. We're not building a data product. We're building something that integrates with all of the solutions that teams already use. So we figured out this really innovative architecture where we can plug in at the API level to all of the different places and systems that teams use to consume data and give them a centralized repository for it. And from there, in addition to dealing with these issues around data sprawl and asset sprawl, there's also the problem of workflow sprawl. So how do you train and get end users throughout your organization up to speed on all of these assets? How do you streamline workflow? And so we offer a lot of those capabilities in our product today that really allows folks to consolidate those workflows as well. And what's really powerful is that all of this then can happen directly in line and in context with your live data. And so it's not happening in a disparate system. And then the really where many of the conversations end is one of the areas that we're investing a lot in. We call it the data concierge. And this is really where there are fascinating AI and machine learning applications to our product in becoming suggestive and proactive to folks throughout the organization about where is their data, what can it do, what decisions has it informed in the past. And so that's the piece that we're investing quite a bit in and has folks really excited.
I'd like to focus now on your team behind the scenes making all this happen. Can you give us some insight into the current makeup of your overall technology team and where you go about using AI-related tech? So you touched on it a little bit there with machine learning and analytics. Can you help our audience, who are mostly data professionals themselves, visualize what it's like to be part of the team at Workstream?
So we're a seed stage technology company. We've got a pretty tight knit team and culture. So there's about a dozen of us, and we got started in the early chapters of the pandemic. And so we've been remote first since the very beginning. So I'm based in New York, but my co-founder's in Atlanta, and we have an amazing team spread all out across the country. And really, most of our team today are engineers and technical professionals bringing our solution to market. And with regards to, I would say, the day-to-day, we're just a very customer-focused organization. And so everything that we do around development of the product is all driven by feedback from customers, insights from customers about the challenges they're experiencing around empowering their organization. And that just feeds into all of the development efforts that we work on. I think with regards to kind of machine learning and AI, what's really interesting about our solution and the way customers use it is really starting to become this repository of knowledge about your data and what it does for your organization and who's using it in what contexts, right? And when you think of that information and data, it really speaks to the beating heart of your organization. And not just what is the data, but what does the organization do with the data? And a lot of our roadmap and what we're thinking about is how do we make our system much more predictive and suggestive and proactive to folks about all of that information and knowledge and context. And that's really where we think that there are awesome opportunities for machine learning and AI applications in the future.
You are listening to the Alldus podcast. When you're looking to scale your team, or if you are interested in showcasing your company in a future episode, reach out today. Or if you're in the market for a new role, visit our website to view open positions, www.alldus.com.
Workstream is very early into its journey, but already having a lot of success, both with customer acquisition, but also with the growth of the team. When you look ahead for the next year to 3 years of your journey, what are some of the things that you see, and what are you excited about to continue to develop and evolve Workstream's platform?
For us, it all starts and ends with the people. And by virtue of what we do, right? Like we are hyper focused on effectively interpersonal challenges between team members and empowering better collaboration around your data. And so I would say the first thing that I'm just most excited about is the opportunity to work with more and more customers. And one of the fascinating things about the space that we're in is that the folks that you speak with and get the opportunity to work with are just so smart and forward thinking, and you just learn something new from each one of them. And that's what drives the vision of the product forward in many ways. And so going from the group of customers that we have now to being able to impact thousands of customers all across our industry. And with that, we'll see a lot of continued growth within our team. I think from a product perspective and a customer impact perspective, I think what I'm most excited about is really the opportunity to help teams automate what today feels like incredibly monotonous work. And it's work that's necessary, but in many ways, it's like the least value-added work for these incredibly intelligent, high-impact professionals. And ultimately, what data people want to do is focus on building data products and the strategic work that is not only interesting to them, but truly pushes the organization forward. And the last thing they want to focus on is question and answer, or building out documentation, or ensuring that the right folks have access to the right things. They know all of that is important, but the work to do that, it's a grind, to be honest with you. And there's so many different ways that we can free these teams up from that so that they can focus on the strategic. And I think that's really what inspires me every day when I wake up, and what has folks so excited about the future of Workstream.
Final question from me then, Nick. Obviously, with the growth that's expected, you're going to need to continue to attract and bring in top talent, as you've already done so. When you're speaking to candidates who could potentially be a fit for Workstream, what is it that you tell them about the journey, the mission, the culture that would get them to choose Workstream over some of the other great opportunities available to them?
For me, when it comes to joining a early growth stage company, is you just have to truly believe in the mission. And ultimately, when you're starting out at building a company, which effectively anyone who joins an early stage company is doing, that's really what should be inspiring you day to day. And so like, if you have a personal connection with our mission to empower people to best leverage their data and to help data teams become more strategic, like, then we're a great fit for you. But if that doesn't inspire you day to day, like, no harm, no foul, we're probably not the right fit, right? So I would say for us, it starts with the mission, and do you have a personal connection with it? And what's great about so many of the candidates we speak with is so many of these people have had some personal experience with the problems that we're trying to solve, which is, of course, great to hear, and I think just great validation for what we're doing. And I would say the second thing is be excited for the journey. And no technology company has a straight path to the top, and there's so many twists and turns along the path. And ultimately, the outcome hopefully is great, but the reason you come on board a company like Workstream.io is to experience the journey, and that's what it's about. Enjoy the time. You want to be someone who's going to look forward to enjoying the times and working through all of the challenges and opportunities that come with building a great business.
And as somebody who's been on several startup journeys, you know how fun it can be. Early days of Tesla, and then the work that you've done at Better Cloud. So the launch of Workstream is very exciting. And for people who want to be in that startup environment where you're going to build something cool and have fun along the way, Workstream sounds like a great place to be. Nick, thank you so much for coming on today. Appreciate you sharing your story with us, and we wish you, the team, and everyone at Workstream the best of luck in the months and years to come.
Thanks so much. I appreciate you having me, and it's been great to have the opportunity to share more about our mission and vision and what we're building.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alldus podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.alldus.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.